So it's great to be here. So the title on the agenda is Wildfire Research at SYKE. So I have to say first that it's not much. So we are more like here to learn from you guys. So we are only starting it in the ABC-iCAP project. But I could, well, okay, so there are some research from biodiversity point of view, but we don't know that well. But we are starting the research more on from air pollution point of view, and hopefully within next 2 years there will be more, and we can build systems also to assess in the Nordic countries. But I could first introduce our institute in a very general level and briefly, and Ville can then continue more from wildfire perspective. But this general presentation is more to give you an idea what we do, and especially what SYKE's capabilities maybe to build this wildfire assessment work in the future. So we are both based in Center for Sustainable Consumption and Production at SYKE, and they're in Climate and Air Pollution Group. So SYKE as a whole, we are based in 4 offices in 4 different cities in Finland, and the head office and most of the people working in Helsinki. So there are list of main topic areas SYKE works. So there are a lot of different things related to different environmental stressors and sustainability. So we are multidisciplinary research and expert organization. And this multidisciplinarity then gives us a good position to build up systemic frameworks to look at large societal changes. For instance, for our group, looking at climate change and biodiversity issues in forests is important for this research we are now building. SYKE in numbers, so we are a little less than 600 or 700 people working there. Most of the funding comes from external sources, and about budgetary funding, we are a public governmental research and expert organization under Ministry of Environment in Finland. We have a new strategy. So vision is sustainability transformation. So SYKE supports this transformation by providing research, information and services to our customers. And a short list of customers or networks. So there are policymakers, citizens, authorities, and so on. So to our group's work, I would say important is that we collaborate with different research partners in Finland and internationally, and we aim to develop tools and solutions to support policymaking at different levels. Again, about SYKE as a whole, so objectives, as I mentioned, we act on many fronts. So climate change mitigation and adaptation is important. Then bioeconomy and circular economy. So these are very important because forests are and forestry is important sector in Finland. And then our group does a lot of studies on sustainability in urban areas. Then research on biodiversity and nature-based solutions. also very important for the forestry sector. So in a way, it's another side of the coin for forests. So on one hand, potential on bioeconomy and forest industry, and then on the other hand, impacts on biodiversity. And of course, climate change issues are related because of carbon stocks and carbon sinks of forest and forest soils. And this is also what SYKE does a lot. And then research on seas and waters. Okay, so this was the very brief strategy and numbers. Then in the end of this SYKE general slides, there are some snapshots, quick snapshots of some research examples. And I selected just few here that I thought that could be useful to understand our capabilities in assessing wildfire or building these wildfire assessments. So first about biodiversity. So as I mentioned, we are not biodiversity scientists ourselves, but nowadays we collaborate more and more with SYKE biodiversity people, especially because we think that climate, especially climate and biodiversity issues in forests should be studied kind of in an integrated manner. So there's interest about boreal forests. So this picture is very typical landscape in Finland. So boreal forests in Finland and Scandinavia, they may be different to Siberia, so that they are mainly managed forests. And especially in Finland also, there are a lot of peatlands, and for the managed forests, they are like trained peatlands. Okay, then the example study here. So unfortunately, we are not part of that reindeer herding study, but anyway, this might give you an idea of some technical capabilities that we have, and what is important also for us, especially using spatial data and remote sensing data, and developing tools and models important to our group works. And of course, nice to have pictures of reindeers in your presentation. What our group does, we build tools and solutions to support Finnish cities and municipalities in sustainability. So this is maybe not so relevant for wildfire assessments, but I have a separate set of slides that I can show tomorrow on this, especially looking at local level climate strategies and air pollution health issues in an integrated manner. Then about climate change mitigation, we do research on black carbon emissions and impacts, of course relevant for the wildfire assessments, and I have a separate presentation also on this tomorrow. And then we manage networks of municipalities and regions to work with local actors to support them to mitigate climate change and find other environmentally friendly actions and solutions. And many of these regions, they are not very urban, so they are more like rural or semi-urban areas. And for many municipalities, forests are very important and practical forest or forest management practices are important for them. So they might be also linked to wildfire assessments. And then in the end, in order SYKE to be able to develop such large systemic frameworks, SYKE is strong also on providing environmental data. So, and for our work, especially using different type of land use data and satellite data are important. Oh, this was the very general introduction, and now Ville can continue more on the wildfire side. And then later, Ville will also tell about more on emission inventories and other stuff that we do.
So, like Niko said already, we're kind of kickstarting our wildfire work with this project, like really getting into it. We've done some small things before, but this is getting like into a new ground and new areas for us. These slides, like I said, don't have too much. I'm just gonna present what we're planning to do within this ABC-iCAP project. So we have two research questions that we want to try to answer, or at least get the work started on how to answer these questions at least. So first of all, we know that for wildfires, the official statistics and then again the satellite observations on estimates and also on just on the burn area estimates, they don't match. So how much do they differ and why do they differ that much? To try to find these kind of explanations for that. And this has a lot of like policy relevant dimensions to it. Like policymakers want to know why does it look so, what should we be looking at. And the other part is that how will the emissions, all wildfires and emissions look in the Arctic in the future, maybe creating some type of pathways, emission pathways for the future. In the project presentation, like the introduction that Simon gave, black carbon is very important. The methane was also there, but we are interested in all the emissions in the end. Like I said, Arctic is our focus. That's where we're looking at. Hopefully, well, like you already presented, Russia, very important, not only for the Arctic, but especially within the Arctic. We're having a look at the Nordic countries. We have naturally good connections in Finland, hopefully good data in Finland, and we can do more detailed assessments maybe there. There's a lot of good work done in Canada, US already, so we hope to be able to apply that research into our work. Well, the reason why we're here is this project, it's just wildfire work, and we're, well, like we were in Boulder last week, now we're here to collaborate with all of you, and then I'm visiting Miami University actually next week. We're kickstarting the work and just like building this capacity between Finland and the US as well during this time. And like I said, we've been planning some workshop with Russian wildfire experts. The first one was planned already for March. This is now postponed until at least May. We are on hold on all this stuff work, so let's see how that's gonna work out. Jessica claims that I downplay what we've been doing in SYKE on wildfires. We haven't been doing that much, not nearly as much as you guys have, but we have at least expertise that we think is going to be useful for this type of work. So first of all, we have some experience of working on satellite observation data, and there's a lot of expertise within SYKE as well, outside of our group. I'll be later showing this flaring for Russia paper that we did before, where we applied some satellite data. There's a lot of forest research, like Niko represented within SYKE, especially we at some point, maybe that's a little bit more for the future, but looking at biodiversity effects coupled with wildfires, so like a forest carbon balance type of work as well being done, and we are involved in that type of work in SYKE. And naturally, we have good networks, like I said, in Finland in general, to all of these research work that might be connected and might be helpful for us. And I just included this, well, you know, the review synthesis paper. Amber was part of that as well, I think. So I was part of that work. I was mainly contributing the anthropogenic emission comparison to the wildfires, but this is like how there is some work already been done in SYKE by us as well. But this is how we're kickstarting the things. But these are the main things. So we don't have, the project just started, and our work it starts with these meetings in the US, our visit to the US. So I don't have anything else to actually present yet, but these are the things we are going to have a look at, and these are the things we are looking to get some insights from you as well already here, and of course creating this connection so that we can use these connections later and to collaborate and hopefully apply each other's results to all of the work and to get the bigger picture.